Good evening, everyone. We'll just wait in for another for 5 minutes before we can commence the session. We'll just waiting for the others also to join in. Thank you. All right, let me start off, introducing you to the topic and everything else, and then while we can wait across for the others also to sort of join in. Good evening, everyone, once again, and it's a pleasure for me to sort of host you today. We have been doing a series of a lot of open houses wherein the idea is to connect with students, try and understand how we can help them better in terms of their college selections, their aspirations, where they want to go ahead, and so on and so forth as well. We recently had an open house for public leadership aspirants, and today we thought let's talk to students who want to get into the fields of management, fields of commerce, who want to pursue entrepreneurial aspirations as well, and see how we can help them. We are all in a world which is extremely volatile. Every second day, there is some of the other, there is some of the other introduction of a new technology, of a new concept that sort of comes in and displaces everything that we've learned across the years. For example, look at content writers today. Content writing has been across the last a decade been looked at as one of the very creative professions. A lot of students, a lot of people between the ages of 20 to 30 have attempted at getting into content writing either individually. There are firms that have started on content writing as well. And just when we were thinking that there is good content available, we have the advent of something called as ChatGPT, which technically has taken over all sorts of content. So now we have average content writers who are struggling to keep up the pace. Maybe the good ones are still safe. So how do you manage this? How do you manage yourself? How do you keep yourselves updated? What is the sort of mindset that you should have if you are entering such sort of a volatile and uncertain sort of a world? So that's the entire topic for today. And I'm very, very glad that to take up this session to sort of speak to you all on the same, I have with me Professor Dr. Kirti Datta. Professor Kirti is the Dean and Professor for Entrepreneurship at the School of Entrepreneurship at Rishihood. She's a TEDx speaker with more than 28 years of experience in corporate and academia. She's helped manage and build processes in institutions of higher learning during her career. She does a lot of things. She's a person who's very, very versatile, right from her areas of interest in brand management, consumer behavior, marketing communications, to actually going ahead and handling an entire administrative department in the sense of, handling students, handling faculty, to also being very focused on research. She's in fact also the Dean for the research cell. So I'm sure ma'am will be able to take us through a lot into this field. What we're going to do is I will keep the chat box open for everyone. And in case if you wish to, let's say if there's a question from the speaker, you can put in your answers onto the chat box as well. There's also a Q&A button on your screens. Please use that to ask any questions that you may have. We'll go with the flow of the session, and towards the end of our talk, towards the end of our conversations, we'll try and see as many questions that we can take. With Kirti ma'am, I also have one of my students here today, Anugya, who is pursuing a bachelor's with us, a very fine student. Again, someone who's very, very well thought out. I remember during admissions, I've had a couple of interactions with her, and I would usually tell my colleagues that it's very rare to see someone at that age with the sort of clarity that she would come in through. So I think Anugya can also help us understand what life is in a university altogether. What are her throws? I don't want her to, talk anything else, just about how her experiences, what is she currently doing, what are her aspirations, and I'm sure you guys can connect with her over the next whatever time that you are looking at and take the conversation ahead. Kirti ma'am, without any further ado, we still have a very small lot that is still seeping in. I'm sure they should be, it's Indian Standard Time. It's usually 15 minutes ahead of the regular time. So I'm hoping that everyone else joins in and we can take in the best out of your session as well. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Anju. Thank you for this introduction, and welcome to Anugya as well for the session. Before I start, I would like to welcome all the participants here and congratulate them for, a big step of completing their 12th and now going forward choosing their careers, which is again the next important step. So 10th and 12th marks are always going to be there in the CV. So this is an important milestone in their lives that they have done. And now going forward, the choice of what they want to do, what they want to specialize in speak for the journey forward. So if I was to talk about, the first question, I think, which you've posted for everyone is, why the entrepreneurial mindset. So I would like to start off by, saying that mostly the students will, when they are applying, they will be applying to business schools, right? And ours is only one of the few schools who are talking about entrepreneurship per se, though we are teaching business. We have a BBA, BCom, and we have MBA as well. But we talk about it as the School of Entrepreneurship. So how are we different? Because we are focusing on the entrepreneurial mindset of the students. So those who are here, I mean, if quickly they can, put it in the chat bot, what they think is an entrepreneurial mindset. What according to you is an entrepreneurial mindset?
Tanu, can you just enable their chat as well? Or just make me a co-host so I can do the same thing.
They can unmute and speak also, if that's convenient.
That may not be possible, ma'am. With the webinar, the attendees may not have those rights. That's why.
Okay. So because, these days, all the students are very intelligent and they have more information at their fingertips than we ever had.
I completely agree. And guys, there are no right answers. There are no wrong answers.
No wrong answers at all.
Necessary to, exactly. It's necessary to just express your thoughts. It's just an expression of thoughts. So in case, if you all have an idea as to what an entrepreneurial mindset is, I'm going to put it on the chat box as well for your quick perusal. And then maybe you guys can guide us with some ideas that you have. So I have Dishika, who's mentioned an overall optimistic and active business mindset that can be used to succeed.
Perfect. Wonderful answer.
What else? Apart from Dishika, anyone else?
So, optimism and an active mindset is very, very important going forward in whatever field you are choosing your career. And I'm sure they must be understanding about the major and the minor concept that they can have at Rishi Hood.
So even some of them may not, because some of them are meeting us for the first time as well. They received an invite. So some of them may have an idea about the concept, but I don't think everyone does. So we can sort of give them that, brief as well.
Yes. So we have, different schools at Rishi Hood University, and we are all aligned as per the new education policy. And as per that, you can choose a major and a minor. So you can study different subjects as per your interests as well. So for example, if you're interested in the taking up sub-subjects in the School of Creativity or from psychology, or from healthcare, so you can pick those subjects up as well. Or if you're doing BBA, you can pick up some subjects from BCom and vice versa. So that is how we've designed it. And if I talk about my BBA and BCom, we want the students of BCom to pursue some subjects from BBA because that will give them a holistic development. So for example, marketing management is something that we are teaching in BBA. And if the BCom students, if tomorrow they want to, venture out or, open up their own businesses, we encourage them to take up, such subjects from the BBA course. Because at BCom, you'll be learning about, all economics and accounts and project management. So everything related to commerce, you will be studying over there. So that is about, the major and the minor. And I think only Dishika has ventured out to give an
yes, we'll still need some time
answers.
for everyone else to warm up as well.
Right. So okay, that's not a problem. That's going forward. We know, we understand students, so that's okay. So when we say, on entrepreneurial mindset, we have to understand that it's not only a mindset, but also the skill set, right? It's a way of operations. Going forward, because there are a lot of challenges that life will throw you, the universe will throw to you. So if not going a number of years back, even if I start off from the turn of this century, so in 2000, we had the dot-com bust, it was followed by SARS and recession, and then, the bird flu, and then COVID, and again, we have COVID raising its head again. So there's a lot of uncertainty and volatility if you look at the overall business market. So if you are to venture in this area, because right now they'll take 3 or 4 years to complete their undergrad, and then so total 5 years to step out into the market and actually work. So by then, there might be so many other challenges that come up. So here at the School of Entrepreneurship, we are preparing students with an entrepreneurial mindset and the skill set required for that, so that they can, take up opportunities and build on that. They can thrive on it. They don't have to be bogged down that, okay, now what to do now? So when Dishika says optimistic mindset, yes, that is very much required. And that's what we do here through the various courses wherein you can learn about the real life things that are happening, case studies. So in a safe environment, we make you take decisions so that you are more confident about going forward. When you actually take decisions, you will remember, oh, this is what we did there. Oh, so this is simple, and giving them that confidence to be optimistic and active. So that's, what we do. So we make them more solutions oriented, that, okay, there's a problem, yes, but, they have to be resourceful and they have to be resilient as well. So this is how through our various, pedagogy that we are following over here, because Anju, you understand these are all Gen Z and Gen Alpha right now that we are dealing with. So they are so far ahead of us. So if we have to teach them, then we also have to be entrepreneurial ourselves. So there are a number of things that we are also doing so that, we can take care of them, because entrepreneurship is not just about startups. It's about businesses as well. So this entrepreneurial mindset is what companies are looking for. So if you put a search on Google that what are the skills that companies are looking for, then entrepreneurial mindset is something that comes up again and again. Because, even during COVID, during April and May, when it was at its peak, in March only the lockdown had started from 22nd, then 9,700 new products were launched by the likes of Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Wipro, Godrej. So they're all established companies. They are not entrepreneurs. But it was the individuals there who had the entrepreneurial mindset and who realized that okay, these are the requirements of the day. And they all, worked overnight. And within 3 months, as per Nielsen's report, 9,700 new products were launched. So that's huge. So that's what we are saying, that it's not only about entrepreneurship going forward, but yes, if we can help anyone, build their dream company, that is the best thing. And we also understand that many times what students say is that I want a placement now, but 3-4 years later down the line, I will launch this. Right, then we cannot call them back and teach them about entrepreneurship and stuff. So we are preparing them today only for the future, so that going forward, whatever they want to do, they want to work in an organization, or later they want to start business. So they will be equipped right from day one, and then the sky is the limit for them.
So one question, like, I'd just like to interject as well here. One of the questions that I received from a student just about, I think, yesterday in one of the lectures was that we obviously talk about entrepreneurial mindsets, but what exactly are the components of that? Like, how should a person be if I need to claim that I am someone with an entrepreneurial mindset? And maybe I'd like to hear from you as well, but I'd also like to hear from Anugya in terms of what her understanding of the entire thing is.
Sure, Anugya first then.
Ma'am, please go ahead. No, please go ahead, ma'am. I'd like you to go ahead first.
Okay, perfect, Anugya. So what we do is, and I'm sure Anugya, while she's formulating her thoughts, she will also recollect this, that the first step before we start on the journey is understanding yourself, right? Before we can venture out, the first thing that we need to is to understand ourselves. So that's the first thing that we are doing. We are making the students understand themselves first, so that then going forward, they can understand what is it about the life. And then, it's very simple. We all know about the VUCA word: volatile, uncertain, ambiguous, complex. So what we do is we take this VUCA word and we turn it around. So if I talk about volatility, then I can overcome that through visionary mindset, right? So this is what we inculcate in the students through the various teaching pedagogy, wherein, so for example, we have courses like Green Ventures, where they have learned how to make a soap, and then they have, done the whole packaging and the product preparation. And then as a final exam, they were supposed to, pitch it to the panel of judges. So that was the final exam, wherein they had to present and talk about it. So it was about their vision, and all the teams were doing this only. So it was about the different groups, what is their vision related to a green soap, and how they want to pitch it and present it and price it. So through these, class activities, we try to develop that visionary mindset. So the volatility, we try to overcome through the visionary mindset. Then comes uncertainty. So the uncertainty is when we don't know what's going to happen. And one of the entrepreneurial trait is that how can I make a decision with limited information, right? So the uncertainty, we overcome that through the understanding. U of uncertainty to U of understanding. So it's also about how we understand the business landscape. What are the opportunities there? What are the challenges there? And how can I turn the challenge on its head, so that though it's uncertain, how can I make the most of that? So what can I do? Right. So related to the business which I am in. And that's what we look at the second thing. And that is through the case studies in class, activities. When we teach a concept, there's always an activity related to that, so that they understand, okay, this is the concept that we've studied. Now, how do we apply it in the real world? So that's the understanding that we build over there. And that also flows from one of the C's that we focus on about, the competency of the students, how competent they are. So the uncertainty through understanding and competency building, that's how we relate it. So then uncertain, then comes the complex, the VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex. So for the complex part, we are giving them clarity. So clarity through case studies, so that, okay, there was this situation in an organization, so this is what they did. And if you were there now, what would you do? And this is what they did, and what further would you suggest? So, in classes, Anugya and all the students, they are coming out with a lot of strategies. And I would like to, share here that Anugya is the topper of a batch in the first semester as well. So that is something which we are proud of. So, and so this clarity also, comes when they are talking to outside people. So, so they have, a lot of sessions, guest lectures and all these things. They go out, they meet the industry people, they are industry visits. So all those things are there. So that's how we build on the clarity of the problem when they are talking to all these people. And then the last is ambiguity, right? So the ambiguity we take care through agility, because if I'm agile, then I can quickly unlearn and relearn, which is the requirement of the day. So we teach them that going forward, okay, these are the concepts that are there right now, but going forward, things would change. Right. So they need to relearn that. And how we do that is, so for example, if digital marketing is there and things are changing so fast, so we do not make them learn the concepts. They can carry, so for example, 5 pages of notes to the exam, but they need to apply that. So the questions are all application oriented. So that's what we mean, how agile you are in trying to understand, the problem and then coming out with a solution, or reskilling yourself, because that's very much required going forward. So we set them on this path of learning so that they understand that, okay, what they have learned. So that's the confidence that, okay, I am strong, I have, I am competent, but going forward, things change, scenarios change. So if these changes are happening, they do a lot of courses on MOOCs, which they do, which is apart from the classroom. So they understand all these things. And so that's how we make them agile. And, so that's how we've inbuilt all these things into the delivery and in the pedagogy. Right. And like now, and we were also talking about ChatGPT. So in fact, when they have to do assignments, then we make them use ChatGPT. So there's a Microsoft image editor. So for example, if it's an advertising class, they can go and, they just need to type the concept there. It will create the image. So all those hours of, working and on the creatives and everything is, taken care of. So that's how we make them understand that, IT is a way of life. Technology is a way of life, and how they can take, support of this rather than being challenged by it. So we, and if you go online, you'll see that on Naukri.com, all the companies right now, they've changed the job description. They are saying, can you work with the AI? So if they are using AI in the classrooms and if they're using it in their assignments, they know what it is about. So they are not challenged by it. And in fact, they can propose 5, 10 other solutions while incorporating AI and all these tools there. So that's what we do. And Anugya can fill you up on more.
Yeah, and Anugya, as a follow-up, so one, of course, the question on, what your understanding of entrepreneurial mindsets is, and
Yeah.
as a student, what do you sort of gain out of it? The other thing I also wanted to ask you, now that Kirti ma'am has given me fodder, and I'm extremely nitpicky that way. So I wanted to know, as far as I remember, with our interactions a few months back as well, I've always known you to be someone who's been very strong with content. So do you think ChatGPT is good for you or bad for you? Does it like restrict your creative juices because everything is easy now, everyone becomes on par? Or do you think that there's so much more that we can actually drive out of it? So 2 questions. I'm going to ask you to answer the one by one as such.
Okay. So for me, entrepreneurial is nothing like it's not just about business. It's about gaining your creative insights, following your creative side of your mind, and understanding. Maybe like in our class, there's a saying. Almost every teacher says it that जो सबसे lazy बंदा होता है ना, वो सबसे ज्यादा creative और सबसे ज्यादा entrepreneurial वो ही निकल सकता है class में से. So that's one of the saying. So that's, even I believe that if you're lazy, you try to come up with some jugaad, some solutions that makes your life more easier. So that's one thing. Second of all, I would like to say, like for chat GPT, like you said, it kind of restricts your, it doesn't restrict your myself. Instead, it gives me such as some like sometimes I'm out of ideas, or some I need some baseline as to how to go ahead. So through ChatGPT, I may get a baseline and I can work on that idea more further and gain create it on my scale. Like you understand how creative, how content writing I am. you'd like told. Similarly, like we had a presentation in which we have to said something about a startup idea or something, and described its organizational structure. It was an assignment. So under that, many of the students were not able to understand what startup should they use, what is the basic idea. Even I was confused. So while going through some startup ideas, I found out 2 to 3 different startup ideas, and I thought I can collaborate with them, make it something more interesting, something more unique other than that. And I created up a startup idea known as Farm to Table right now. So that's one thing. And my teachers have been basically, we have mentors, so they have been pushing me to go ahead and do start up a business with that idea. So that's it.
That
And
is
everything else was by ma'am.
extremely interesting. Yes, you are adding up something. Okay, so that's good. What I'm going to do is, before we sort of continue the conversation, and we've been talking so much about entrepreneurial mindsets and so on and so forth, I would like to ask our attendees today if there is any company that comes to your mind where you think the work is extremely inspiring, very creative, very entrepreneurial in its scope. So I, for example, I'll start with my my work. I've always I'm a marketing person myself, and I've always admired the work that a company like Google does. So naturally, in terms of, in fact, a lot of when we are talking about entrepreneurial mindsets as well, there is a word, and I'm sure some of you would have heard about this earlier as well, that we call as intrapreneurship. I'm just typing this off very vigorously on the chat box for everyone's reference. Intrapreneurship is ideally when you don't necessarily have to start something of your own. You may be part of an organization that gives wings to you, that gives you the facility that you can go ahead and try out working on those particular ideas. So I think that that calls for a lot of enthusiasm in an employee as well. For me personally, I love Google's work. If you look at most of the products that Google comes out with, whether it's Google News, whether it's Google Analytics, so many particular products of Google have been actually babies, thought babies of their own employees, and Google gives you the time. So they would, as an organization, tell you that you have a certain project in your mind. Go ahead, start working on that. We'll float it. If it sort of comes through the mainstream and it picks up, then fantastic. Google obviously acquires it. For them, it's R&D. For them, it's intellectual development that they're doing. But at the same time, I think for the employee as well, there's so much to grow. In fact, taking a leap out of that, I'm very, very proud that all of us here, Kirti ma'am, me, all of us work with Rishihood. Anugya obviously is a part of our student community as well. There was one thing that struck me very strongly just about, I think, a week, 2 weeks back, when we had a meeting with all of our other employees, all of our other staff, academic and non-academic. And one of our founders mentioned that we would like you all to start something of your own within the organization. So when an organization gives you that wing, that ability that, yes, you have to do the job that you're supposed to be hired for. You are supposed to contribute in that particular space, but you do have a space where you can go ahead and explore your own world as well. So I think that's what makes it interesting. So that's my tidbits on entrepreneurial mindsets.
And Anju, I'd just like to add over there. So we've taken that forward. We've developed an incubation policy, and it's in place. So it's for the students, faculty, staff, anyone who wants to start off a venture. So we have this incubation cell. They can, take the help of the incubation cell. We'll be organizing sessions for them. And the students are also drivers of the incubation cell. From first year, we have Pihu and Weber as a part of that. And from second year, we have Kushal and Shambhavi as a part of the incubation cell. And so there, we are inviting all the students to come out with their ideas, and we will, help them build the venture. Probably they can pitch to venture capitalists as well. So if they can get the funding, that's also there. And to how that's also beneficial for the student community is that, many times students feel that, okay, after graduation, I should not start a venture because I don't have the funds and the resources, or the intellectual capability. And what if I'm out of the placement cycle? What then? So what we've done as a part of the incubation cell is that for 3 years, we will, give them the opportunity to run their venture. If within 3 years, at any point of time, if they feel that, okay, no, we are not able to take this forward, they can come back, and with that particular batch, which is going for placement, we will, put them up there, and they can then sit for placements as well. So that's a cushion net that we've added there. So we help them during their stay here for the incubation of the venture. At the end of the graduation, if they want to start it, they start it. If within 3 years they feel that, no, I need to sell it off, or, hive it off, or sit for placements, they can come back and they can sit for placements as well.
Okay, that's really wonderful. And taking that cue and continuing my question as well, I would want to know from everyone out here, which are the companies that you think, one company that you think you've seen, you've observed, you've seen their ads, you've seen their work, and you think that the culture there is going to be superbly entrepreneurial, or it's a very interesting place to work, a very creative place to work. Anyone, quickly. We don't have all day. Yes? The chat box is open if you all want to put down any particular company that interests you. It could be an FMCG product. It could be a biryani product. Eid is around the corner. It could be anything for that matter. But some brand that you think is doing wonderful work, if you all can just sort of put in your answers. Dishika is there. Ankit is there. I can have some people who are, Akanksha is there. Bhumika is there. Divij is there. Yes, guys, anyone. Otherwise, I'm assuming that everyone is sleeping. And even I want to do that. Yes, anyone else? Nidhish is there, Nishi, Muskan, Monica, so many people. Any company that sort of interests you, any company that you think ki, yaar, ye ad to dimag mein lagi gaya. Ye to ad ja hi nahi raha hai. Let's see if the audience has some answers, some thoughts. Exam nahi hai. It is not an exam. I'm not grading you on all of that. So you can sort of take your time and do it.
It could be any company. It could even be a Coca-Cola or a McDonald's or a KFC. Yeah. Anugya, which is your favorite one?
Ma'am, my favorite would be, I recently learned about a company in our class while ma'am was teaching it to us. The company's name is Phool, PHOOL. It's regarding that it's basically like a recycling business in which, like in temples, we offer fool and puja ke liye hum fool offer karte hain. And people then, what are the flowers doing? They're just lying side, going into the rivers, especially Ganga and near Haridwar and areas, holy places. So what the company has done, the owner collected all the flowers that are being wasted, and he made incense sticks, that is agarbatti, out of it, which included essential oils. It is economic. Second of all, it is eco-friendly. Most of all, very important. And third, it's really like it's helping a great cause. Like, it's not harming the environment anymore. The flowers are being put to a good use. So that's what the company, something that inspired me was this company, Phool.
Okay, I have Muskan who's mentioned Lay's as a place that someone does. I have someone by name SB who's mentioned, I'm still confused about the concepts of entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship. Would you like to take that, ma'am?
Yes, sure. Thank you so much. So, so when we say entrepreneurship, I as an individual want to start up my own venture. So it will be my baby. I will decide, what is the solution that I want to offer and how do I want to go about it. But when I say intrapreneurship, it could be in an existing company. So a company like PepsiCo, which is manufacturing glaze. So wherein I'm working. And then I am in the sales and marketing, and I come back and I say, oh, there's this wonderful, product that customers want, and there's a requirement. And then I propose that, and the company is willing to take it up. So then I will launch this. Or intrapreneurship is also about, even if I'm not coming out with an idea like that, it's about taking ownership, right? So as an entrepreneur, also you're taking ownership of your of your venture, right? And entrepreneurship, when you're taking ownership of the work that has been given to you in an organization in any which way, and how you're going to, come out with solutions which are unique, and then you're proposing that to the company, and then they're also, going to start off with it. So you all know Cheetos, the brand? Yes.
Sure,
So
yes.
Bingo's Mad Angles, that I think is more, with this
Just
Cheetos
mentioning
Bingos.
all what you're saying on the chat box in case if they
Okay. So
can't.
Bingo's Mad Angle. So I find a lot of youngsters eating it these
Yeah.
days. So at the time of COVID, what Bingo's did it, they came out with very, very creative posts on Instagram, because a lot of people were there on Instagram working from home, ample time and all these things, and they started selling from there. So someone there took that ownership that, okay, let's create, people are on Instagram, and till then they were not doing direct marketing. So they did that. And so that's what I mean, that can I take ownership? So if I'm in the distribution, how can I take ownership there? If I'm in product development, how can I take ownership there? So intrapreneurship, SB, I don't know the full form, it's just SB. So intrapreneurship is in whichever organization I'm working, how can I be entrepreneurial there? And that's what School of Entrepreneurship is about, that whether you want to start off with your own venture or you want to work in an organization, how can you be entrepreneurial there? Because the more entrepreneurial you are, the higher you will rise and the quicker you will rise, right? So we are placing you for life. It's not just the first job. Right, Anju? So we want them to grow because they are our alumni. So the higher they grow, IIMs are IIMs just because of the alumni. Right. So that's what we want. We want our alumni also to grow and reach places so that people can understand, oh, this is why we need School of Entrepreneurship rather than just schools of business.
I completely agree. And I think that's a good shift as well in terms of just assessing the concept of business and management altogether. And I'm seeing this increasingly within my own team and otherwise as well. So many youngsters, 23, 24, 25. But at the end of the day, if I have someone as an employer, as someone who is a team leader, if I have someone who's taking that initiative, taking that extra bit of effort to ensure that we are achieving our results or we're able to contribute, I think that initiative itself is a very strong pull for me as a leader to sort of keep them in the team as well. And I keep telling this to a lot of students that you have to go ahead and put in that effort. And this is coming from a recent conversation that I had with one of the students in a different school, and they said, "Ma'am, aap itna mehnat kara rahe ho. You're asking me to do a BBA program 3 years, 4 years. You're asking me to do an MBA program for 2 years. Aap itna mehnat kara rahe ho. I could have just become a YouTube influencer because it's easy, so many avenues, and I'll just put up some dance videos and I'll become a YouTube influencer. I can earn a lot of money. I can be my own boss. I don't need to, work somewhere and then be haggled all the time that I don't have time." But for those kids and for a lot of them here as well, even YouTube influencers, the ones who become influencers, if you notice one common thing, it is consistency. They are doling out content every day. If you're following someone who's doing a fantastic cookery show and you love the way that the person speaks, it is the energy that the person brings on camera and the fact that he's consistent with it every day. हर रोज एक पोस्ट बनाना है. जब आपका दिमाग नहीं भी चल रहा होगा तब भी आपको पोस्ट बनाना है. That is when you become a YouTube influencer who's really cool as well. So I think that consistent effort is required, and whether you're an entrepreneur, more so in that case, because you're everything, or even someone who's working in a very creative company, you need to have that drive. I again have a question which says, what are some challenges that a teacher faces in preparing students for a VUCA world? Very interesting.
I really love this SB, whoever it is. So finally, someone on our side.
We have clandestine people. We have anonymous people. That's nice.
Right. And then we have him on our side and he's concerned about us as well. What do you do and how do you do? So SB, thank you so much for this question, because, as teachers, it's a challenge that we're facing every day, right? Because, Gen Alpha, teaching to them, we have to be on our toes. And
Yeah.
we have to keep abreast of everything that's happening out there. So my faculty, they are, for 1 hour lecture, they are preparing for 3 to 4 hours about not only the content, but updating it, what's happening right now, and then how to make it interesting. Just now, Anugya shared an example with you, right? So to come out with examples like this, which interest students, and then we are assured, we look at the impact, we look at all the stakeholders, right? So it's not only about businesses, it's about, the total impact, like Anugya explained it to you about food just now. It is actually very challenging. We are doing a lot of hard work. Every year, we are revising the contents of our courses. So we have our board of studies. We have a lot of people who are supporting us from the behind. We have a lot of industry people who are there as a part of our team. We keep on floating to them that, okay, this is a new course and this is the content for this year. What do you think? And we get a lot of inputs. And we have people globally coming to support us. We have people from Singapore, from Canada, from America, from Europe. People who are entrepreneurs, people who are teachers and faculty in different schools. So we are having a lot of support system. And then, of course, it's a lot of hard work. And SB, let me tell you, there's no substitute for hard work. Whatever they might say about smart work and all these things, it's pure and simple hard work. But in hard work, you need to understand what to do. So therefore, smart work comes there. But it's basically hard work.
I got that, and that's really nice. Anugya, I'm going to come next to you, and I have a question with me on my phone. This is Neha, who wants to know, as a student, what and all do you need to prepare for before you come into a university? If you have to be someone who is accepting an entrepreneurial mindset, you want to develop that, you want to be explorative, then what are the things? Are there some prep stuff that they need to do before they come on to colleges as well?
Well, that's a nice question. Uh, to be honest, I don't think there's any prep stuff you need to do. Like if you're going for business schools, entrepreneurship schools, you should keep in mind that you need to be open for networking at all stages. Whenever possible, wherever possible, just go for networking, connect with people, learn their stories, learn their life experiences, understand it and gain some special insights that they can provide you. Like it's not every day you get to meet a CEO of a company, CEO of your college, and teachers. There are different people, like ma'am told, guest lecturers. We have so many sessions. People are coming from all around the world, having their life story, their life experiences. We are so lucky to have the chance to able to talk to them, connect with them, learn something new from them that we are not able to learn it within our schools. So one thing that you should keep in mind is you should be clear with your aim, like what you wanna be. Not that clear, like I'm not saying you might be able to shift at some point. I know nobody's clear after their 12th what they want to do in their life. Nobody, even trust me, I'm still not clear what I want to do. I just have a base idea. So the only thing is that you need to have some idea what you want to do, so you are more one step closer to achieving your dreams and your goals. That's it, I would like to say.
That's very, very nice and very diplomatic as well. She's already on to becoming a big leader somewhere. I have another question with me from Akanksha here, and either of you all can take the question as well. Akanksha wants to know that, yes, we have, let me just read through this. Okay, let me decode it. There are too many questions here. All right, Akanksha wants to know that we are talking about entrepreneurial mindsets, but at the end of the day, a BCom remains a BCom and a BBA remains a BBA. So how does that change? The basic framework of these courses will remain the same. So are there anything specific in these courses? Yes, Akan. Are there anything specific in these courses that ensure that we have as a subject, as not exactly the experience part? Experience, I think Anugya has already put up. But as an experience, as a subject part, are there certain courses that we do in terms of getting into that mindset frame as well?
Yes, Anju. So we have the 3 years and the 4 years of undergraduate course, BB and BCom. And we have the choice of the subjects there. We have taken it up very, very carefully. So if you look at the BB or the BCom course, we are teaching students 182 credits in the 4 years, right? Which they can check by and large is more than any other people are teaching, right? So what do we do is that we have a wide array of things. So we are looking at the breadth and the depth as well. And like I said, we're preparing them for being entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs. So therefore, the choice of subjects that is there, the choice of electives that is there is huge, and students can, pick up from there. So of course, we have to have a point of parity. So whatever BCom, course is teaching, we have to teach that because of the UGC requirements and regulations. So of course, for a BB and a BCom, we are covering that, but we are covering other things as well. That's why the number of credits have increased. And once they are here, and we'll take them through the 4 years and what they plan to do. But by and large, what we've done is that we have RU Essentials, which are taught to them in the first year. So these are the courses which they are going to study with all the other school students of the undergrad. And so apart from that, in the other courses, it's more of interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary, right? So we promote that the concepts that they have learned in one, they should apply in the other. So Anugya will say that in research methodology, so they are applying that in the entrepreneurship course that they are learning. So like that, the course and the choice of subjects and what they are learning over there, we've kept it so that, it's different from the other schools. And that's why we do not speak a lot about that, because it's a USP and we want them to come here and then we can, share it with them. But what Anugya has not shared till now is that they get a lot of opportunities to apply whatever they've learned. And Anugya, can you talk about the first prize that you won recently?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. So there was a conference in Mumbai by Business College, SVIMS. They organized it, a national conference under which we have to submit an abstract on any research topic that we find interesting. So my team included 3 members apart from me, 2 more other members, and we 3 were the authors for the paper. We wrote about Patanjali, like how a Swadeshi brand Patanjali became such a global recognized brand. We talked about the marketing strategies and how were people attracted to the Patanjali brand. How were they able to know about it? Like Baba Ramdev used to come at 4 a.m. on TV to do yoga. How were people like, how did Patanjali attract people to him, understand the importance of yoga, told people about it, Ayurvedic remedies and all were all promoted by Patanjali in India, especially during COVID times. Patanjali's medicine sales were the highest among all the other products that Patanjali produces. I found out recently through my research, and we had a presentation 2 days before regarding that, and the results were announced. So we won the first prize along with one of our friend in the same BBA program only. She also won the first prize because it was very difficult for the judges to decide between the 2 presentations.
That is wonderful. So you all
So,
are kind of
yes.
overtaking everyone. सारे options हमारे पास आ जाए तो बाकी किसको क्या मिलेगा?
Exactly. Yes. And then you have to appreciate the fact that it was a national conference, and a conference where all the faculty is only participating, right?
Absolutely.
Hardly students are participating, and then they participated and they won the first prize as well. So that's
against
something.
MBA as well. I would like to add against even MBA participants were there from our college.
From our college.
Very, very good. That's very, very good.
Yes.
See, I already knew, Anugya, you're going to be great. But anyway, I'm going to take one more question before I can just quickly deep dive into a very nutshell process for all of you all who are attending this in terms of how do you select colleges. I'm not just talking about Rishihood, but otherwise as well, what sort of parameters, and a little bit about admissions as well. But last question before I go on to that. Again, have our friend SB with the question that what do you think are the most important skills for BBA students to develop to succeed in the VUCA world? I think we've answered to an extent that as well. And how can one...
But
yes.
Yes, to add to that, yes, Anju, just to add to that.
Yes, yes.
So how a BBA program. So just to add to that, Anju, what we've just not discussed till now, I mean, everything that we are doing, plus if I don't know whether they know that our program is completely residential. So it's not only during the classroom, but outside the classroom as well, how we are developing them, how we are shaping them. So there are a lot of skills that can be, not all can be taught in the classroom. So therefore, everything is there, and that's how, just to add to that, you can continue. continue, please. Sorry to barge in.
Okay, no, that's fine. I think we've more or less covered that as well, because, how do we prepare? And I think we've had an extensive discussion on the sort of activities that you could go through in terms of preparing yourself for a very uncertain world. I have another question here by Nishi, which says, I'm confused between entrepreneurship and working for an organization. What do I do? Passion or money? What do I choose? If it's passion, then entrepreneurship, it's money, it's working for an organization, then how do you sort of decide which way do you want to go after your grad?
So the answer is simple. Turn your passion, and through your passion, earn money. Right?
Okay.
Like I said, through the incubation cell that we have here, wherein we are asking the students to, come out with their ideas, wherein we'll help them. So while they are studying, we help them build on their idea, the minimum viable product, MVP. They can do that. They will have industry mentors. They'll have faculty mentors. They can pitch it if some person is interested. So they have the money. So right at the end of the 4th year, they can start off with the venture. They can earn money. And like I said, that within 3 years, they can come back and sit for placements as well. So if, if the passion is something that has not taken off, they still have the safety net. So they can come back for the money also via a job, if not through the venture.
Okay. All right. Anugya, any tips on the same? Any thoughts on the same? What would you go for, passion or money? Or both?
Passion.
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 Nice. That's very nice. If you have the passion, the money will follow. Like
Yeah,
Baba
exactly.
said in some movie.
Like Ikigai says, follow your passion, money will come.
Absolutely. All right. I have another question from Madhav here, who says, how does Rishihood place itself as a B school vis-a-vis other reputed ones? And especially with reference to opening the sort of opportunities and the openings that one gets after doing a BBA or an MBA.
Right. So if I talk about my Rishihood, I can just talk about myself. I'm not going to talk about anyone else. So like I shared that through our curriculum, we are differentiating ourselves, and through the skill sets that we are building in the students, we are differentiating our students as well. And as far as, the openings are concerned, so here the sky is the limit. You can start your venture, you can work in organizations, everything is there. We have a placement cell. They will take care of the placements. But if you say that, no, first 2 years, I want to start off with my, venture, we let you do that as well. So the sky is the limit. Whatever you want, you can have it here. And here we say that we are we're making you placeable for life. So it's not just the first job that we are, looking at. We are making you placeable for life. And that's how Anju, our curriculum is also different, because many subjects which they will study, they might not use right now. But later on, to grow in the organization and, so the advanced skills that are required, we are in building that right from day one.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. And before I deep dive, just a couple of tidbits. So when you are looking at, and this is for anyone, if there are undergrad aspirants here or even postgrad aspirants here, there are certain parameters that you keep in mind before you get into an institution, right? Number one is, and I think that's the foremost, is what is the preparation for life that the institution does? I think for years now, education, specifically in the country and otherwise as well, is very equipped to teach you specialized skills. आपको finance सीखना है, finance मिल जाएगा. आपको marketing सीखना है, marketing मिल जाएगा, right? So we are very equipped as an education system to teach you specialized skills. But do institutions actually prepare you for life? There are so many cases that I come across day in and day out where students of even brilliant institutions, at the top 10, top 20 institutions, they have everything there in their hands. They have the right jobs, they have the right life, the right money, and yet taken, are battling mental health issues at a larger scale. So I believe an education system that can sort of focus on these challenges. At the end of the day, tomorrow when Anugya finishes her program and she goes into the market, yes, she might be working with a large company trying to work on their product, but that product is essentially developed to solve a certain grand challenge. Now, that grand challenge today in our world, I think we're facing issues of sustainability. We already have reports that India is 90% of the country is in danger zone in the heat, and Delhi, I think no one can move out. It's that bad. You have sustainability issues, you have issues of mental health, you also have issues of terrorism. at the global level, when you're getting educated, does your education actually cater to that? So a very interesting study, I don't have that with me right now, but a very interesting study that the National Association of Colleges in India, as well as the World Economic Forum, did some time back, was to identify what are the skill sets that companies value the most in their employees, value the most in people that they're planning to take in. Surprisingly, the topmost skill was communication, then interpersonal skills, then leadership skills, then skills of empathy. Fine. If you are in trouble as an employee, as a team member, if you're in trouble, am I able to empathize with you? Or am I going to say, no, aapka to chutti ho jayega, to kaam kaise hoga? So empathy skills. And then at the 7th, 8th, 9th number are technical skills. How good you are at your job. So I think those skills that we talk about, which are qualitative, are life skills. And for me, it's very, very heartening that at least at RU, at Rishihood, there is a very strong focus on these life skills. And therefore, every student, every undergrad student goes through the essentials program that Ma'am mentioned earlier as well. You have courses on global grand challenges. You have courses on science of living. It's a very interesting concept. When you're sitting and eating food, we are constantly on our phone. We are constantly on something or the other. Our mind is not even processing what is the junk that we're eating. But the same thing, if you sit down and just observe what is there on your plate, what is the color of the food that you're eating, trust me, it's a much more nutritious and holistic practice, right? So very small things which are oriented for life are taught to you in the first semester. And then obviously you go ahead with other courses as well. The applications for this year are naturally open. Just let me know in case if you can see my screen. I'm not even...
Yes, we can.
Is it visible? All right. Let me just quickly take you through some of the areas that we've identified at Rishihood, which mean impact for us. We are India's first and only impact university. Everything, every aspect, every initiative that we do at the campus is from the perspective of creating an impact in some area, right? The 5 areas that we've defined are entrepreneurship, healthcare, creativity, public leadership, and education. These are areas that require, at least in the country, these are areas that require a lot of revamp, a lot of focused attention, so that we can sort of come through a lot of challenges that we can solve for. We obviously have a very unique board of founders, but I'm not gonna, put a lot of force on you with all of these. Let me look at the programs. We obviously have a BBA and a BCom program that you all have been sort of part of currently. We also have psychology, economics, creativity. We have a bachelor's in design. We have healthcare courses. Even if you look at the courses, if I look at a healthcare program, the focus is on public health and hospital administration. It is not on MBBS, MD, dental, nursing. No, I mean, those are, yes, they are required. But COVID, I think, showed to us that our public health systems require a lot of change. So therefore, we wanted to sort of create courses that are in line with those. But this is a slide that I want all of you all to keep a very strong focus on. How do I select an institution? I've been counseling students for about 15 years now, and it is my belief that when you apply, you should apply to at least 6 to 7 universities. Once you apply to 6 to 7 universities, you'll get shortlisted by 3 of them. If you get shortlisted by all 6, there's something wrong with your choice. There are 2 easy options, right? So you pick up 6, apply to all of them, get shortlisted by 3. Once you have these 3 in your hand, then you figure out what is the geographical implication? What is the fees? What is the sort of scholarship that I get? What is the exposure that I get? What is the learning opportunity? How much focus can a faculty give on me? Am I a part of a large crowd with 1,000 people? Or am I a part of a smaller crowd, which is only maybe about 30 people in the class, and there's a lot of personal attention as well. So some of these pointers, a residential campus, and I'm not saying all of this because we have this at Rishihood, but I'm saying this predominantly because it makes sense. When you're in a residential campus, your entire focus is on the project that you have in hand, whether it's your studies, whether it's your academics, your non-academics, your games, everything else put together. So you are able to put all of your senses onto the work that you're doing for those 3 or 4 years. Focus is higher, right? When you look at the faculty-student ratio, the UGC, the University Grants Commission that helms all the universities in India, to have a 1:20 sort of, a good, healthy faculty-student ratio is 1:20. I personally believe that is too much. If I have to ask Kirti ma'am to focus on 20 students, mentor each of them, it's going to drive her crazy apart from the work that she already has to do. So can I have a faculty student ratio 1:5, 1:10, smaller batch sizes, make the entire experience more personal. What Anugya can understand is very different from what her peer would understand in the batch as well. So that is necessary. Look for smaller batch sizes, look for smaller cohorts. That is necessary. A diverse peer group. I keep harping upon this, and this is an outcome of a residential campus as well. A diverse peer group necessarily means that you have students from different backgrounds, cultural, geographical, economical backgrounds as well, who can come together and give in different perspectives. Now, if I talk to you about entrepreneurship or investing money to a student in Delhi, maybe the idea is fantastic. Wow, let's go and start start up something immediately, because the environment in Delhi is very entrepreneurial. The same thing, if I take the same question, go to someone in, say, Coimbatore, or maybe in, say, Chennai, they'll say, nahi yaar, thoda weigh in karte hain. Because the mentality, the environment is more service oriented. They are more entrepreneurs than they are entrepreneurs. So when you have people from different backgrounds coming in the same class, eating together, you guys are all sharing the same campus, I think the sort of solutions that you can find to problems are also very diverse. So very necessary. Industry exposure, interdisciplinary curriculum, focus on lifelong learning. I think these are things that we've already spoken about in detail. I want to stress on the right ecosystem as well. If you guys have the time, listen to this and then keep this in mind. Average institutions in brilliant ecosystems are much better than brilliant institutions in average ecosystems. And what does that mean? It means that when I have the right ecosystem for industry, for academic exposure, a Delhi NCR belt in India is a very strong belt. Gurgaon houses the headquarters of most of the companies in the world. And Gurgaon was an hour and a half from my campus, right? So that ecosystem is what you need to have. When you get into a college in Bangalore, you get into a college in Bombay, you get into a college in Pune, these are ecosystems which are thriving, where you have companies, where you have opportunities, whether it's an internship, whether it's a final placement, whether it's the fact that I want to call someone for a guest lecture. All I need to do is just figure out someone who can come drive down 1.5 hours. The same thing, classic example, is an institution like IIT Kharagpur, one of the finest institutions in the country, no doubt about that. The oldest IIT, large campus, beautiful thing. But even today, if you look at the IITs, IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay, IIT Chennai. These are the 3 IITs that are doing really, really well, predominantly because of the ecosystem. Kharagpur mein kuch hai hi nahi. Pahunchne ke liye mere ko 2-3 gaadiyan badalni padti hain. So please ensure that the ecosystem that you're choosing is very important. And of course, other aspects like global exposure and so on and so forth. So that's one part. The applications for 23 are still open. I would request my colleague, Tanu, to just put up the application links on the chat box as well. Should you wish to apply to us to any of the programs, whether it's BBA, whether it's BCom, go ahead to the application form, fill your form in. What we've also done is, I mentioned to you earlier as well, at Rishihood, everything is impact driven. So when we were building the admissions process as well, we wanted the admission process to be in sync with, a certain value that you could take out. I can't be sure that every one of you who's going to apply to me will make it to Rishihood or not. That I'm very, very sure that you will not be able to make it to Rishihood. But you have invested time in me. I have invested time in you. And I would want you to take out some value. So every applicant who comes through the Rishihood programs, we also do a set of 5 or 6 counseling sessions that include career guidance sessions, that include sessions like how to write a strong statement of purpose. It includes sessions like how do you work smarter? Or how can you prepare yourself better before an interview as well? So very generic sessions, but sessions that can help you improve your profile. We'll do that as part of an applicant's journey. And naturally, the sooner you apply, the larger access you get to scholarships, the larger access you get to better opportunities, higher chances of selection as well. So do get into that, and that should be something that you can look at. The application links are shared on the chat box. 5 criteria that I select up, all of this is there. The process is very simple. An online application that focuses on something called as the statement of purpose, a very, very strong component of your selection criteria. You'll have to write that well. We will have a counselor who can sort of take you through the entire process. There is an aptitude test for those of you who are writing the CUET. It is good, but CUET pata nahi kab hoga. So I would not want you to rely on that. go ahead, give the RSAT, give your practice test, give your actual test, score well there, and then post that you have a personal interview with the admissions and the faculty panel. So this entire process and your your performance across all 5 of these parameters will decide whether you can go ahead and whether you're shortlisted for the program or not. If you're shortlisted, do you have a scholarship or not? The link is right here on your chat box as well. If we have any students who are younger than 12th standard students who are between grades 10, 11, just entered 12th, they're going to finish their 12th next year, you can choose to join the summer school program, which will happen in June. It's a beautiful 1-week residential course, gives you a glimpse of how life is in a university, prepares you better, improves your profile before college applications as well. And it's an open invite to everyone here. Whenever you want to, please do visit the campus. We have a very small, very cozy community. We're not as large as older institutions, 250, 300, 400 acres. No, we're a very small, we're a very beautiful 25-acre campus, very articulately and very beautifully built as well. Come down, have a chat with our faculty, have a chat with students, spend a day with us, and then we will see how things can be. With that, I'm gonna close down my entire program. I think Dishika has one question. Dishika wants to know, could you explain the foundation course for your liberal arts program? Dishika, I don't have a diagram immediately to showcase to you, but if you can get the gist, understand this. So the first semester that you have, which is our foundation semester, that focuses on your lifelong learning skills. Fine. So you have a set of 7 to 8. Yes, Anugya, 7 to 8 courses that are mandatory, if I'm not mistaken, under RU Essentials.
Yeah.
Yes. So you have a set of 7 to 8 courses, which include courses in statistics and data sciences. You have courses in design and visual thinking. You have courses in global grand challenges. You have courses in languages, understanding languages. You have a course on science of living. So likewise, there are certain areas that are necessary, that we identify as necessary to ensure that you gain a lifelong skill, and which is also from a perspective that tomorrow you graduate from the college, you finish things, maybe after 5 years, you require the, the necessity to reskill yourself. But if you don't have the ability to relearn, then it's going to be difficult. So these courses are aligned so that you have that skill to unlearn and relearn and again, upskill yourself whenever that you require. Apart from this, you also have courses that you pick up from your major. So let's say if you're signing up for BBA, you'll do introductory courses in BBA. You will also do some courses if you want to pick up from other departments, from other particular programs as well. At the end of the first semester, we do give a choice to the students that should you wish to shift from your main major to something else, you could do that. So let's say you signed up for a bachelor's in design, but you've gone through some courses in BBA and you want to shift to the BBA program, you could do that, right? So that happens in the first semester. Post that, you focus on your major areas of specialization. In the third year, when you come down, you have the option to pick up a minor specialization as well. So you're doing a BBA, you want to add a design perspective to it, take a design specialization in third year. If you go to the fourth year, pick up another specialization. Maybe you want to add a psychology angle to it, take a psychology specialization. These are introductory courses. So these will only give you a perspective and sort of strengthen your hold on your mainstream program as such. And naturally, I think the fourth year, Kirti ma'am, you could also enlighten a little bit about the research component that they have in the fourth year as well.
Right. So right now, as per UGC, if you are doing a 4-year course, you can just do a 1 year of master's course. So ultimately, they'll end up into a 5-year of a UG plus a PG. And in the fourth year, it's all about research orientation. So there are a lot of courses related to research because as per the NEP, even after UG, they can apply for a PhD program.
Yes. Yes.
So therefore, in the fourth year, it's a very research oriented. There could be dissertation writing and stuff, and and plus some of the high end electives that they will study. So, for example, we could have data analytics, neuromarketing, all these kind of subjects in the fourth year. So that the 1 year of PG that they are going to skip now, they are equally versed in all these subjects, so that they can straight away do a 1 year of a PG or straight away go for PhD as well.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. My numbers are shared on the on the chat box in case if you wish to connect directly, please do that. It was wonderful hosting you, Kirti ma'am, as well as Anugya. Anugya, now that I've gotten to know your skill, you are so dead. I'm going to go and kill you everywhere. I'm going to pull you out everywhere, right? But
Oh,
not
ma'am.
just that. I think it helps a lot for someone who's coming in to have some guidance from a peer, some guidance from a senior as well before they can. It's not about deciding so much whether they want to come to reshoot. It's more upon, you're helping them calm their nerves before coming into a residential campus, before taking in that big step. So you're just helping them do that. So thank you so much for your time as well. And thank you again, Kirti ma'am, for the wonderful session. Guys, you
Most
have my
welcome.
numbers. You have the application links. Please do get in touch. WhatsApp, call, whatever you want to do. We are available. And if any particular confusion regarding anything, please do reach out to our counselors as well. Thank you so much. And I would see
Thank
you guys
you.
very soon in some of the other session as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So all the best to all. Thank
Yeah,
you so
thank you
much.
so much. Thank you.
Thank you.